Hey guys, Steve here. Welcome to Game Nations. Side-scrolling adventure games are thriving like never before in 2025. Blending nostalgic 2D movement with modern gameplay mechanics, these titles offer emotional stories, rich worlds, and finely tuned combat, all while pushing artistic and narrative boundaries. This hand-picked collection features 20 standout side-scrolling adventures, so hit the subscribe button before we dive in. In Teslagrad Remastered, you step into the boots of a young boy living in a steampunk version of old Europe, in a nation ruled by a tyrannical king. This land has long been in conflict between two forces, the oppressive monarchy and a group of technologically gifted sages known as the Teslamancers, masters of magnetism and electricity. The game opens with the boy suddenly pursued by royal guards. With no idea why he's being chased, he's forced to flee into the abandoned Tesla Tower, a mysterious structure filled with ancient technology, puzzles, and secrets. The tower once belonged to the Teslamancers, who were thought to be long gone. Black the Fall tells a haunting, minimalist story of oppression, resistance, and freedom, set in a bleak dystopian world heavily inspired by post-communist Romania. The game is told entirely without words, using only visuals, symbolism, and atmosphere, leaving much to the player's interpretation. The machinist, seemingly just another obedient cog in the system, decides to break free. He begins his escape from the vast mechanical factory he works in. Early on, he acquires a laser device that allows him to control other workers and machines from a distance, turning the system's own tools against itself. The journey takes him through bleak assembly lines, harsh interrogation chambers, mass surveillance zones, and the ruins of rebellion. After Freysia defeated Belladum in AeternoBlade, the timeline was meant to be safe. But peace is short-lived. A new force called the Void begins distorting reality, causing timelines to overlap, worlds to collapse, and strange anomalies to appear across dimensions. Freya, sensing that the AeternoBlade is again tied to these distortions, sets out to investigate. Along her journey, she crosses paths with Bernard and Felix, two other warriors who possess different versions of the AeternoBlade, each tied to its own temporal domain. Together, they battle dimensional monsters, uncover secrets of the interdimensional rift, and confront a new antagonist.
And you all for an audience.
We need capable fighters to counter the attacks and discover.
Freedom Planet 2 continues the high-energy adventures of Sash Lilac and her friends, set in the vibrant world of Avalis, a planet rich in cultures, animal kingdoms, ancient technology, and looming threats. The game builds upon the foundation of the first Freedom Planet, with a deeper story, stronger character development, and darker stakes.he game takes place several years after the first game, following the defeat of Lord Brevon and the destruction of the Kingdom's Stone, a powerful energy source that kept Avalis in balance. But that destruction had consequences. Deep beneath the ocean lies a crystal prison, long forgotten by time. Within it, Murga, a water dragon from a prehistoric war, has slumbered for centuries.
Roguelite game where the adventure changes with every playthrough. Whether you're a
Rogue Legacy 2 is a platformer that intricately weaves roguelike and metroidvania elements, offering a narrative that unfolds through exploration and discovery. Set in the Kingdom of Genesis, a realm on the brink of collapse, players embark on a quest to uncover the mysteries behind its downfall. The story is revealed progressively as players delve deeper into procedurally generated dungeons, each run shedding light on the kingdom's history and the forces at play. A distinctive feature of the game is its genealogical progression system. Upon a character's demise, players continue the journey as one of their descendants, each possessing unique traits and abilities. This lineage-based mechanic not only influences gameplay, but also enriches the narrative, emphasizing themes of legacy and familial duty.
You won't have to wait long to build your own legacy.
Samus finally confronts Raven Beak in an epic showdown. During this battle, she taps into the Metroid DNA within her, which allows her to absorb energy from Ravenbeak's attacks, greatly enhancing her power. After a fierce and emotional battle, Samus defeats Ravenbeak, putting an end to his plan to unleash the Metroid army. In the aftermath, the planet ZDR begins to collapse, and Samus narrowly escapes, but not before having a final, emotional moment with the knowledge of her origins. The ending hints that while the threat of the X-Parasites and the Metroids may have been momentarily contained, the future remains uncertain. The story delves into Samus's past, her connection to the Chozo, and her unique DNA, blending human and Metroid traits. Velocity 2X continues the thrilling space action saga of Lieutenant Kai Tana, a skilled pilot with a deep sense of duty. The climax of the game comes when Tana faces off against the forces behind the Volk Empire's scheme. She must stop the Volk's ultimate weapon, a destructive force capable of annihilating planets. In an epic final battle, Tana taps into her own potential, overcoming the Empire's forces and finally freeing her people. The story concludes with Tana making an uneasy return to her planet. While she has won the battle against the Empire, her transformation into a cyborg leaves her with a complex sense of identity, as she must reconcile her human past with her new future. Trine 3. The Artifacts of Power continues the magical adventures of the trio, Amadeus the Wizard, Pontius the Knight, and Zoya the Thief. It combines classic puzzle platforming elements with a new 3D gameplay style, leading the heroes through a perilous journey to save their world from a dark force. In the game's climax, the trio faces Sarek in a battle to restore the Trine and save their world. With their combined powers and skills, they manage to defeat him, but not without significant sacrifice. As the Trine is restored, balance is returned to the world, but the consequences of its destruction are felt far and wide. The game ends on a bittersweet note, with the heroes reflecting on the weight of their actions and the unpredictability of magic. The Trine is whole again, but its powers and their consequences still loom over them. Heroine Anthem Zero. Episode 1 is set in a rich, fantastical world filled with mystery and adventure. The game blends traditional RPG storytelling with action platforming gameplay. In, the game's protagonist, is a young member of the Forest Keepers. At the start of the story, he embarks on a journey of personal growth and discovery. He is determined to protect his home and restore the magic of the World Tree, but he quickly realizes that the world's issues are far more complex than he first thought. As Juanin ventures out, he comes across Shama Kutami, a mysterious cat girl with unique powers. Shama is a wandering soul with a hidden past, and her arrival changes the course of Juanin's destiny. Together, they uncover secrets about the Cataclysm, the true nature of the World Tree, and the forces at work to shape their world's future. Players control Eshe, a wanderer who, while traversing a desert, is drawn into a subterranean labyrinth after encountering a mysterious sandstorm. This labyrinth is the remnants of the Eschaton, an ancient civilization that engaged in a catastrophic war against the Valkyries, a technologically advanced mercenary group. The conflict led to the world's ruin, leaving Eshe to navigate the ruins and uncover the history of these two factions. Guided by the enigmatic Shining Trapezohedron, Eshe gains the ability to defend herself. As she explores, she learns that the Valkyries sought to harness the Eschaton's eldritch powers, leading to a failed summoning ritual that warped both factions into monstrous forms. The Trapezohedron urges Eshe to embrace these eldritch powers, offering her strength at the cost of her humanity. Dusty Raging Fist is a colorful and action-packed beat-em-up that follows a trio of anthropomorphic characters as they embark on a heroic adventure to save their homeland from dark forces. The trio sets out on an epic journey to find the Iron Knight, a legendary warrior whose powers are said to be capable of vanquishing the dark forces terrorizing the land. Along their path, they travel through forests, mountains, icy caverns, and ancient castles, encountering numerous enemies, powerful bosses, and rogue villains who stand in their way. Throughout the journey, the heroes discover that the evil plaguing their world is much older and more powerful than they could have imagined. The Valkyries, a once legendary order of mercenaries, sought to harness forbidden powers long ago, and their failed rituals have led to the resurgence of dark, monstrous entities that now threaten to consume everything.
Is a stunningly beautiful story-based...
The story of Degrees of Separation revolves around two characters, Rei and Asha, who are separated by elemental forces and yet share a deep emotional connection. As the game progresses, their journey explores themes of love, separation, and how differences can be reconciled through cooperation and understanding. Rei and Asha come from very different worlds. Rei is a character tied to warmth and heat, while Asha embodies cold and ice. These elemental forces are a literal and symbolic representation of their differences, keeping them apart in ways that reflect their personal struggles and emotional distances. Rei, with his warmth, represents light, fire, and life. He's often associated with the world of warmth, where everything is vibrant and full of growth. Asha, with her cold nature, represents stillness, winter, and preservation.
Leave it to me.
Coming here, putting crazy...
Forgotton Anne is an adventure platform game developed by Throughline Games and published by a Square Enix collective. The game begins with Anne working under Bonku's guidance to finish building the Ether Bridge, which would enable her to return to the human world with Bonku. The objective of the bridge is to free the Forgotlings by helping them leave the Forgotten Lands and return to the world they came from. However, as Anne progresses with her work, she learns that a rebellion is taking place, led by Fig, a Forgotling, who wants to change the rules of the Forgotten Lands. Fig and other rebellious Forgotlings oppose the Ether Bridge, arguing that they should not be bound to the human world, and that their existence should not be reliant on human memory. The rebellion threatens the entire process of returning the Forgotlings to the human world, causing Anne to question her role and the legitimacy of her mission.
Inspector Magnum, stand down at once! Stop it!
The story of Grimvalor is set in the dark and decaying kingdom of Valaris, once a prosperous and vibrant realm that has now fallen into ruin. The kingdom's downfall is linked to the mysterious disappearance of its king, King Valor, and the rise of terrifying creatures that now roam the land. As the story unfolds, you, the protagonist, are tasked with uncovering the truth behind the fall of Valaris and the king's fate. You play as a warrior, a lone figure who is sent to investigate the kingdom's ruin and put an end to the monstrous threat that has consumed it. Armed with a sword and shield, you venture through dark forests, ancient ruins, cursed temples, and other perilous locations, fighting against hordes of enemies and colossal bosses along the way. Collapsed is a post-apocalyptic, roguelike action platformer developed by Glaive Games. Players assume the role of one of 4 unique hunters, each possessing distinct abilities and combat styles, embarking on a quest to track down formidable prey in a world ravaged by alien forces. In Collapsed, Earth faces an existential threat as hordes of bloodthirsty aliens invade, aiming to enslave all sentient life. The game begins with the fall of major human strongholds, leaving humanity on the brink of extinction. Players control hunters, elite warriors chosen for their combat prowess and resilience, tasked with combating the alien menace. Each hunter brings unique skills and weapons to the battlefield, offering diverse gameplay experiences. Minoria is an action platformer game developed by Bomb Service and published by DANGEN Entertainment. Minoria is set during the Fourth Witch War, where witches, who were previously hunted and exterminated by the Sacred Office, have begun performing a mysterious and dangerous ritual that could endanger the world. The Church is determined to put an end to this rebellion, but as the story unfolds, the line between right and wrong becomes increasingly blurred. Sister Samia and Sister Fran are sent on a mission to stop the witches from completing their ritual. They are tasked with confronting and eliminating those who defy the Church's teachings, as the Sacred Office believes the witches' actions are heretical and must be stopped at all costs. COGEN, Sword of Rewind is a 2D action platformer developed by Gemdrops Inc., released on January 27, 2022. COGEN, Sword of Rewind, takes place in a dystopian future where the city of COGEN has fallen into disarray due to the malfunction of advanced technology, specifically AI-driven drones. The story centers around Kohaku Otori, a young woman who awakens in a ruined version of her home city, seemingly with no memory of what happened or how she ended up in this dire situation. Kohaku Otori, the protagonist, is mysteriously resurrected in the city after an unknown event causes the city's downfall. As she regains consciousness, she discovers the destruction and chaos around her, with malfunctioning security drones now terrorizing the city's inhabitants.
No time to waste then.
Aeon Drive is set in a futuristic, neon-lit city called Neo Barcelona. The story follows Jacqueline Jack Tywood, a skilled space ranger who finds herself in a dire situation after her spaceship crashes in this city. The crash causes a catastrophic failure in the ship's dimensional engine cores, which are now dangerously unstable and will explode in 30 seconds, potentially destroying Earth. FD52. Jack's mission. Jack is stranded in Neo Barcelona, a bustling cyberpunk city. In order to save Earth and herself, she must repair her ship's dimensional cores before they explode. The mission is urgent, with only 30 seconds before the detonation countdown reaches 0. To prevent the destruction of Earth, she needs to collect drive cores scattered throughout the city, which are essential for stabilizing the ship's engines. ANNO, Mutationem is an action-adventure game developed by Thinking Stars, set in a cyberpunk world that blends pixelated 2D and 3D graphics. Anne Flores. Anne is the protagonist, a tough and resourceful woman who must navigate a cyberpunk cityscape filled with danger, corruption, and mystery. Her condition, entanglitis, causes her to experience strange visions and events tied to Hinterland, a mysterious alternate dimension. Anne's main goal is to track down her brother, Ryan, who has vanished while trying to find a way to cure her affliction. Ryan Flores. Ryan is a doctor and Anne's older brother. He is deeply invested in finding a cure for Anne's condition. His disappearance is the catalyst that sets Anne on her journey through the city's dangerous underworld and the hidden secrets of the hinterland.
This looks wonderful.
Tales of Kenzera Zao is a Metroidvania-style action-adventure game developed by Surgent Studios and published by Electronic Arts under the EA Originals label. Players control Zao, a young shaman from the land of Kenzera who is grieving the recent death of his father. In his sorrow, Zao seeks to bring his father back to life by performing a perilous ritual with the assistance of Kalunga, the god of death. To achieve this, he must capture the spirits of 3 formidable monsters as offerings. The narrative is deeply personal, reflecting creative lead Abubakar Salim's own experiences with loss. It explores themes of grief and the lengths one might go to reverse it.
Ooh, damn, bro.
See, like, this is what we mean when you're like, can we...